Clips of Rachel Zegler trashing the 1937 animated Snow White have been going viral over the past few weeks because this is a movie that Disney has seemingly put a lot of money into and they haven't listened to fans, yet are making major changes like the 7 magical companions. But now a clip of her is being shared on social media where she straight up says the original Prince Charming was a stalker, and it's wonderful the remake isn't a love story at all. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, I have had to talk a lot about these clips that have been going viral over the past few weeks because it's so disappointing to me, and I've also covered all of the other Disney live-action adaptation failures recently, like Peter Pan and Wendy, The Little Mermaid, things that have gotten generally roasted by audiences, and this is so sad for me because I have a lot of love and nostalgia for all of these films that they are remaking. I watched them when I was younger. I can recite a lot of them by heart. And to hear an actress say these things, to disrespect the original movie this way, just irks me on a personal level. It says, though, Snow White actress calls Prince Charming a stalker, says it's wonderful that Disney's remake is not a love story at all, which is just so disappointing because you could just go and you could make something different, but no, instead you have decided to take something people have so much love for and twist it around like it's no big deal, and then you go into interviews boasting about it. This is not a way to become loved by fans, to become a fan favorite actor. It says Rachel Zegler, the star actress in the live-action remake of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, even though it's not that anymore, has once again made eye-raising comments about the upcoming Disney remake of the classic animated film. This is an article by The Blaze, by the way. In an attempt to promote the Snow White remake that is set to be released in March 2024, she called Prince Charming a stalker. Now, I do not think that this is going to release in March 2024. I think that this is going to be delayed, just judging by the strikes that are going on in Hollywood right now. Maybe they are really set on the idea of releasing this, but Rachel has been on the front lines of these strikes saying, I deserve to get paid for every minute that my content is streamed online, and it's so hard to be an actress who has to basically play dress up all day, because she said that, if I'm wearing the dress of an iconic Disney princess for 15 hours a day, I deserve to get paid for it. Just another reason that we do not like her. More statements that she has made that are very questionable. But she said the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. It's one of those things that I actually think that everyone is going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really wonderful. Now, if you wanted to have a Latina princess who didn't want romance and simply wanted to find her way in the world alone, becoming a leader, then make a new story, make a new princess, because that would be fine. It's new, original, and you're not mangling a character that people have nostalgia for, but instead they're doing this. No love story, no damsel in distress, no strong man to help her, no seven dwarfs, and people don't like it. Look at how poorly The Little Mermaid and Peter Pan and Wendy went. They faced massive criticism over story changes, picking actors that did not look like their animated counterparts at all, removed lyrics from songs for being too offensive for modern audiences, and they expect this film to go over well with people. It just shows that they truly do not care about customers and what fans actually want. And why is this such a bad thing? I'm so sick and tired of hearing this narrative by creatives and actors that there originally was a big focus on her love story, but she doesn't need a man anymore. Why is it that all men have to be evil? She's now saying that the Prince Charming was actually evil. He was actually just a stalker. He is the reason why she was saved at the end. And we saw this change with The Little Mermaid as well, because at the end of the original animated Little Mermaid film, Prince Eric was the one to ultimately kill Ursula. He was the one who saved Ariel and the sea and her father, but instead in the live action it was actually Ariel who just did it for herself. But these are the changes that people don't like. I don't want to watch a movie and see an evil man just because he's a man. I want to see a love story. And I'm not sitting here saying that Snow White was ever the best animated out of all of the Disney films, but at the same time, it is so popular for a reason. It is popular because of the music, because of the atmosphere, because you had a traditional love story that people really liked, people enjoyed, and children loved to see that, wow, there are characters who actually love each other and care for people. Like Snow White cared about the seven dwarfs cared about Snow White. It's not just a love story, and by removing the love story, you are removing a very integral part of the original Snow White animated. It's so sad to see her do this, because out of the millions of women around the world who love Snow White and have so much nostalgia and care for Snow White, this is the actress that they pick. An actress who is going into interviews shitting on the original. And I understand that part of this is probably Disney and her PR team telling her you have to say X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, she could at least say it in a way that sounds respectful to fans of the original and also just people in general. I don't know, she just sounds so full of herself and like she doesn't care about anyone or anything, and she's just for the modern message, which of course is not going to sell well with people. And clips from her, recent interviews have been going viral on social media. As you can see, this is the clip of, the topic that we're discussing. It has 17 million views on Twitter right now, and if you go to the comments, most people are saying things like, this is ridiculous. She is single-handedly killing any hype that people have for this film, which I completely agree with. While I do have a lot of nostalgia for Snow White and a lot of these Disney films, there's no way I'm going to go and I'm going to pay to see this. It's just too much for me at this point. The way that Rachel Zegler is acting, the way that Disney is changing things in this film, none of it. I don't want to support a single piece of this. And I'm talking about it so much on YouTube so that you all can see the ridiculous behind-the-scenes clips like this that Disney very clearly probably wants hidden, because they do not deserve to have this hidden. If this is the star of their movie, everything she says is going to be put under a spotlight, and it's going to be scrutinized, and it deserves to be scrutinized, because when you act this way, you are pushing away potential customers. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.